his sister come over to their house with her fiancé tonight. It's the first time she has seen his wife since September 19th. She came over with the intent of asking her questions. They considered each other best friends. When he wasn't with his wife, his sister was. Or his sister was just always around them. His sister was broken when she found all of this out. His wife was her best friend. It's been really hard for her not to come around and see his 2 daughters. Anyway, her fiancé asked a bunch of questions, ones he have already asked. He had to chime in and yell a few times just out of complete irritation and her trying to downgrade everything. After a while they left then alone to talk. His sister came back and said she seems remorseful, but seemed to want to shrug this off on a few different incidents, like the back scratch fight and just being angry about it and losing a spark after that fight, holding resentment towards him. Ugh. He is still in this weird WTF mindset. How could this happen? It could have been a simple conversation, which is what his sister said. No matter how angry she was, this was not the way to do it. But his sister knows how in love with her he was. He is at a point of pain. He is angry for his pain. Bevy, he has never felt such a deep searing pain in his mind, heart, and stomach. He wants to go off. He is trying to channel that in positive outlets. But when he is home, darn, he is just not okay. He wants to yell, scream, slam doors, punch walls. But he wants her to feel the way he does. So badly he wants to shake this miserable pain. His family and friends are here with support. It's not that he doesn't feel like he doesn't have anyone. He feels like nobody has him. And he knows they are there. But it is his battle, and it's his decisions. But for the first time in his life, he feels so damn alone. Had a friend call him today and ask him a pretty simple question. He said, if his wife did this to him, what would you say? He couldn't argue. A few months back he would have told him to leave her. How could he not? That's always been the line drawn in the sand for not only him, but his wife as well. However, he never thought he'd have to face this, ever. He hasn't been able to get over that. It's been extremely heavy on his mind. They took his daughter trick-or-treating yesterday for Halloween. As they are waking around, he couldn't even fake being happy. He was emotionally drained. But as they walked the neighborhood, he just kept asking himself, what the F are you doing? How can you actually live with this? Yes, it will hurt so badly to leave her and file for D, but can he ever really respect himself if he stays? Won't he always feel like a weak man? His wife kept coming up to him as they are walking the neighborhood saying things like he loves you, you are so handsome, he is so lucky to have you as a husband. It all made him sick. He just kept his distance from her. When they got home and got the kids to bed, she told him how sorry she was, how he never deserved this. He didn't do anything wrong, and this is all on her. He was nothing but a perfect husband and dad. She's so mad she didn't see that and lost her way. How she's willing to do anything to earn back his trust and love. He just kept thinking, man, how the F did it come to this? His wife is asking for forgiveness after having an insane level affair. Like, really? He is really still in this person's presence. He starts therapy this week. She starts IC as well. But he doesn't know. His mind keeps changing day to day. But he can start to see the writing on the wall. Just because this was their absolute no. She's going to tell a few of her friends to this week, and 1 or 2 of her younger family members. Since the holidays are coming up, they will have to be around them. He told her they are used to seeing him in such a good mood. And now they won't. They need to know why. This is your shame to bear, not his. He told her he liked to be there, and sit silently. But if he is not able to be there, he will be calling them later to confirm she told the entire truth. Their husbands are also good friends of his, so he will be filling them in. She won't be able to dodge this one. He won't allow it. Went to a wedding on Friday. That was rough. One of his best friends got married, and it was hard for him to sit there and watch the wedding. His wife was going to originally go, but for obvious reasons he told her she couldn't. He always gets SHT for keeping his ring off and not communicating with her while he is with his friends or family. She tells him how being alone is more than she can take while he is out having fun, even though he is living in a silent hell. And that being home alone with the baby is way too much for her, even though he does his best given what's happens. She went to tell her 2 best friends yesterday what happened. She told them after she wanted to talk. Almost immediately it became hostile. Since she does not have social media right now, she asked to see her friend's phone to view his profile, and saw he started following other girls and liking their pics. She referred to these girls as sluts, oh the irony there. Told him she wanted her phone unlocked to be able to download apps. This was one of his requirements of staying for the time being, as she used social media as a tool to cheat. She took pictures of her friend's phone of the girls he was following and pictures he liked. Now, he told her he did nothing wrong. That was a knee-jerk reaction on his part to see how he felt. But he did not feel bad for doing that. He hasn't cheated or had an affair with anyone else. So, if he lifts the blocked apps on your phone, it was grounds for immediate divorce. After some conversation she said she didn't want a divorce. But she now couldn't trust him, because without his ring, and liking other girls' pictures, he was trying to appear single. Which is not his case at all. The group of friends he is around know exactly what's going on and wouldn't put him in that type of environment. And they all are in happy relationships as well. He did however delete his social media for now. He has been spending way too much time on it. He agrees it's not healthy to use that as an escape for the time being. He called her friends to confirm that she told them everything. She did. They did leave out the part of snooping on his social media, but said she seemed genuinely remorseful. They have known her since she was 6, and they didn't see the friend they once knew. She seemed broken, but sorry. He told them he was just unsure. How could they ever trust her again? How could he? They obviously will way before he will. They are already telling her they are there for her and love her, just like her family is. Is he the only one who wouldn't be so nice with a buddy or relative if they did this? He would not be telling them how it's all going to be okay, but he would do that for the BS. Just blows his mind. So, he is pretty angry and upset after all of this. How she tried turning the tables on him, making him feel like he did something wrong. He is very much involved in both his daughters' lives. His 8-year-old is his world. She is the best. His newborn is complicated. He has been present, he has been there. Late nights, feedings, diapers, all of it, he has been there. But in therapy that's something he is working on. His body feels like it is rejecting his newborn. He can't look at her and think about the affair. It's all that goes through his mind. He completely understands she is as innocent as him. However, she was there with them. His wife and the AP at one point assumed it could not be his. That runs laps in his head, and it's something he is praying he can overcome. He knows time will make it better, but it makes him so angry. This was supposed to be one of the happiest moments, that now is not. They tried for a long time to get pregnant, and when it finally happened, she does this. It's hard. She's been taking it all, owning all of it, apologizing. She knows he called her friends after she spoke with them the other day. One of those friends called her earlier and checked on her, and was saying how they all loved her but she does not have to wear a crown of shame. This isn't who she is, or they know her to be. Not to let this define her, and they will be there for her. Even offered to take her out on her birthday this month for dinner or lunch. Now he understands how friends and family are going to support someone close to them, especially family, but he just doesn't understand how they have been checking on her more than him. Is that me being selfish? If this was someone he knew, he'd be checking on the betrayed regardless of if the other person was related to him or friends. He just doesn't understand how people can try to make her feel so much better about herself, and not show how mad they are. It's insane to him. Hopefully someone can shine some light on that, because he is really struggling with this. Her family was so close to him, and they hardly reach out or check in on him. It's rare, but they do for her. Blows his mind. No one knew about the affair except her and the AP. She took her ring off just about every time they met, which is why Opus refused to wear his. He won't do it. She always cared about rings before he knew about this. They only took theirs off at the gym to work out, but then put them right back on. Her and AP followed each other on social for a while. Then he messaged her. They all happened to go to the same gym, so that's when it all started. And they kept it going. Opus is meeting with his lawyer this week. He is about 90% sure he is going to ask him to draft the D papers. As much as he do not want a divorce, he can't keep living like this. He hates liars, always have. He cut out his parents years ago for being toxic and didn't want their influence on his family. What his wife did is miles worse than what they did. He is tired of being mad and upset. He kept telling himself if he gets D then he will fall apart seeing his wife be with someone else, having another male influence in his daughter's life. But at this point, he just really feels like he is going to be wearing a mask forever by staying with her, pretending to be happy and not depressed. He never wanted a divorce, ever. He loves his wife, but he hate her for what she did to him. He knows he deserves so much better than what she gave him. He is 30 and still have time. He wanted it to be with her, but they are at a point where they need a bigger house, and he refuses to buy anything like that for a long-ass time. So sadly, he doesn't think he can keep this up. They are going to separate starting next week. Then he will be moving in the direction he spoke about above. He knows time will heal. The life he wanted was with his family, but that's soon to be behind him thanks to her. She's been openly reading about separation on her computer so he can see. It's almost as if she'd rather taunt him with doing that, versus actually working on keeping his triggers at bay. Like today, texting him, "Too bad you didn't trust me when I was a faithful, loyal, loving wife." This is in reference to when they had a huge fight about her marks on her back. He talked about this in earlier posts. In that argument 3 years ago, they made up. He apologized. Today her saying that sent him over the edge. He was in a ton of pain today. He went to the doctor for possibly tearing his shoulder from a heavy lift. So that text made him yell, but then come to the conclusion this is getting toxic. Opus thinks she's playing games at this point. This isn't true remorse. She wouldn't have sent that. She also wouldn't have been so open to separating. She did go out of the way to make dinner again tonight, but was upset he didn't want to eat, and wished they could have all sat down at the table and ate as a family. He responded with the "wish you didn't have an affair." He separated himself in the other room to keep himself calm. Anyway, talking to his lawyer this week. Separating starting next week. He effing love you all. Each one of you has given him so much hope through this SHT storm. He really wishes he could buy you all a beer. Thank you for everything. They spoke more about separation tonight. He was actually super calm. He really surprised himself. and when he got heated, he just walked away. She was telling him how she wanted to do marriage counseling. He refuses. She needs IC, and he needs his own therapy. Until they are both healed, there's no way they can work on SHT. But she says there is nothing an IC can do for her. She effed up and understands that she could never cheat again or betray him in any way. It made him so mad. Her saying that. She knows she needs to prove herself, yet he has to explain again why she needs to go. Until she agrees. It's becoming old. And all of this is so damn new still. She should be more than willing to do anything he needs for healing to take place. Thank you all again for everything. Yeah, unfortunately he treated her amazingly. He wishes he treated her bad to have something to blame this on. That's one of his big frustrations. Saw this above, wanted to correct. His wayward wife and her AP sent dirty pictures at the beginning of all of this, before they ever had an affair. He woke up on the couch with her lying next to him. He just felt empty, no emotion. It was odd. He rather feels no emotions than being heated all the time. Red flags? Not necessarily, no. Other than some lies, and the back marks, always on her phone probably was the biggest. Even his 8-year-old would complain. Thinking back, did she do things for him? No. Did she spoil him? No. Could that be a red flag? Absolutely. But he was caught up in moving their family forward, so he put his needs to the side, he guesses. Did he verbally tell her he was sick of feeling left out of her important list? Yes, but it was never taken care of. She says she wants to be a better wife and spoil him to no end. But he is done. Last night he wanted to leave the house. He was heated, so he decided to walk away. Around 1:30 in the morning he was just going to head to his office and crash there. So, what does a good wife do? Oh, threaten him she no longer wants to be with him. And she can't handle this. So, he called her bluff. He said that's fine, they can speak with the lawyer on Monday. Today she's back to he need you but, not before her giving him SHT about her birthday. Constantly telling him he never wished her a happy birthday. Mind you, she was effing another man during his birthday in June. And also happened to ruin his 8-year-old birthday. She's still incredibly self-centered and selfish. Here is a text she sent him. If you don't love me anymore, do us a favor and end this. He can't be unloved like this any longer. Literally the fact you wouldn't even eat lunch with him on his birthday. Yeah, let him focus on you because of your birthday. He will ignore how ruthless your affair was. No thanks. Thought he also share this text with you guys. She sent this to him today. She originally was going to allow her friends to take her out to lunch or dinner, which he was disgusted. Who goes and celebrates their birthday 45 days after an insane affair? I told her she should be at home with her daughters, showing them she's a good mom. So today she was guilt-tripping him by saying how she canceled her lunch with her friends that love her to be alone, since he wouldn't eat with her. He can clearly see what she is trying to do to him. He just moved away from the sushi bar and in the restaurant because the guys at the bar were trying to talk to him. One said, "No way, that's your baby." And he moved away. Seriously, if you want to be with him, stop withholding love from him as a punishment because it's going to truly cause him to stop doing his part and they will get divorced. He doesn't want that, but what you're doing is not helping and it takes two to keep this together. He will be filing for D as much as he hates the thought of breaking apart our family. He knows it's the only way. His wife has her IC therapy on Monday. The therapist insisted he come and told him to not trust his wife whatsoever. With that being said, 10 minutes ago, they just told his 8-year-old daughter they are separating. She broke down, absolutely fell to pieces, and so did he. He couldn't help it, but she clung to like glue, and even looked at his wife and said, "This is your fault." So, he is ready for Monday. He is ready for a professional to tell his wife how up this all is, and then he will be telling her that same week he wants a divorce. He leaves tomorrow for his week away that will be followed up by IC counseling for his wife and divorce papers. This is hard. He is in a lot of pain right now because how hurt his daughter is. But this is the only way. Guys, she's never been to the therapist. She goes on the first time come tomorrow. He called and vetted the therapist, gave her a quick breakdown of why they were coming to see her, and why his wife needs to keep going to see her. Sorry if that was confusing. He thinks a lot of you think she had already seen her. The therapist wants him there for the first session to make sure his wife covered all the bases and does not lie about anything. Her going to IC is important to him. It allows her to hear from a professional how up this all is, and what she should be working on from this point on. He doesn't think she'd ever go if he announced D. So, for the sake of him and his daughters in the future, it's important she gets help. Told his wife tonight he wanted a divorce. He has the lawyer meeting set for tomorrow. She begged him all night to please reconsider. She'd do anything. Today he wasn't planning on doing this, but after looking at his bank account, he saw she bought a number tracer. She got into their phone records and tried finding out who he was calling. For him, that was the last straw. She didn't use the time to read or make his life better. He called his lawyer and booked the appointment. She eventually left to her dad's with the newborn. He has their 8-year-old. She's refusing to go to the lawyer now. So, he knows the D will not go his way. Here are some of the texts she's sent since. "I know what you did, I just thought you'd actually give this a chance. But how effing stupid this is. You told everyone. You knew this was going to happen. You are rushing this divorce. And I am not okay with it like at all. I know what I did, and you made me think we could make this work. I seriously knew this was coming. which is why I have been so on edge because I have been waiting for this. I knew you weren't going to stay. Well, you really made me think our family could come out of this. I have been trying. My God, I have tried to do everything so perfect. I am hormonal and I haven't felt your love in months. I just had a baby. Literally just had a baby. I am still trying to feel normal again and going through a lot hormonally. Your mind is made up. It's been made up. I love you. I will talk to you tomorrow. You strung me along thinking we would make this work. Now we are divorcing in a rush before the holidays. She ended up coming to the meeting with his attorney. He took copies of all their W-2Os and other info. He did suggest trying to hold off on D until filing for taxes. But if not, that's fine too. She was willing to do what he wanted. At this point they are staying separated, and might try file D for right when the test ends for tax purposes. But she knows where he stands. He will file with or without her if she gives him SHT. IC was okay. The therapist told her she had some red flags, but also reminded him not to cuss or call her names anymore. So, with all of that, the writing is on the wall. He is heartbroken, especially for his daughter. She told his sister yesterday that Daddy is just sad. Mommy and Daddy are taking time apart, but they are married and love each other so much, they wouldn't ever get a divorce and break up their family. Killed him to hear that. Hey, you all. Sorry he has been quiet. He has just stopped looking at his phone lately. It's not very healthy for him. They are separated right now, rotating who stays home with the girls. He was trying to give it a bit more time so they could file jointly on taxes, but also to give his brain time away from her to truly accept what's going to happen. He knows what he needs to do. But do any of you have or had trouble with knowing that once you leave, your ex-spouse will be with someone else? It kills him to think about that. Even though she's already done it, it seriously kills him to know she could be wrapped up in someone else. Some guy will have his wife, the person he thought was his forever. Anyways, he hopes you all are well. He is hanging in there the best he can. Update: filing for divorce hopefully within the next week. Telling his daughter after Christmas is over. They have still been separated. She still wants to go to marriage counseling. Thinks it's the saving grace. However, won't do the work he has asked her to do. Worried about losing all his financial stuff and child support. But he knows over time it will get better. Pray for him, you all. She's now at a stage where giving this a real shot is doing marriage counseling. He agrees the marriage isn't what needs fixing. She is the one, but she can't handle living in that kind of environment. He has asked her to read books, take notes over the books, track her phone, prevent any and all social media, change her number, cut all contact, check in with him when she goes places, not argue with him, not blame, shift, or gaslight. He couldn't hang out with his friends without her giving him SHT about being out every weekend, when he is only with them to not be alone, because she would be with their girls. Mind you, she was another guy for almost a year. Hotels, truck, parking lots, etc. So, she is unable to keep his requests going because there isn't a guarantee he is stay in this marriage, and he have mentioned divorce. He has explained obviously there is always a chance at divorce, but you are giving up on the second chance. So anyway, that's where he is. Going to file. He can't keep doing this. He had a panic attack tonight seeing her going to diner with a friend without wearing her ring. Since divorce is going to happen, she isn't wearing a ring anymore, just like when she was having an affair with him. It gave him pestled and he broke down. He is done. Update: he has since filed since they all last spoke. He honestly can't stand to be around his wife. They are still separated until it's all finalized. Lawyer wanted them to wait until the 1st so they could file taxes together. Despite his constant reassuring his wife they are getting a divorce, she still is in the denial phase, and has been trying to guilt him and get him to stay. As he is choosing divorce when he doesn't have to, she says, "You are ending our family." Despite his mistakes, he is not falling for any of it. After the New Year she has come home twice unexpectedly. Yesterday to try to cover him for a hug and kiss, then try to do family time with their daughters. After constantly telling her no, she left. Then tonight she came home at like 3 in the morning. Begged him to come into the other room to talk. He kept saying no. He was tired from being up with the baby. So, she sent him a screenshot of his social media account. She actually got logged in somehow, and screenshot had a pic of a girl sending him a picture of herself exposed. Funny thing is his buddy put out information months back about what happened to him, and she reached out to send him that to take his mind off of everything, but he never engaged. So, he is sure this will be used in her narcissistic tactics. Honestly, he has never been more ready for something to be over. This relationship is extremely toxic thanks to her. Funny to think months back, he absolutely adored his wife. And now he sees her for what she truly is. A manipulative narcissistic cheater. Ready for a new start, regardless of the SHT storm ahead. Thank you, he will. Hey, you all. He is hanging in there. Divorce is slow. There are so many cases right now that it's taking some time to have their first hearing in a few weeks. Of course, she is no longer wanting to go with the same lawyer, and is wanting half of everything. He will end up having to pay child support, and whatever else. Starting from zero seems like what's about to happen for him, which is so extremely frustrating. Knowing he did nothing wrong, yet the system is still punishing him. Hopefully this all goes by quickly and he can get back to trying to live his life again. She hired a lawyer. Things hopefully won't get bumpy, but he doesn't trust her at all. He has heard of the horror stories of wayward wife using past emotions and reactions of the affair against the betrayed. Honestly, he just wants this over with. Currently at a meeting and he have to stay at a hotel. It's hard for him to sleep in a hotel since he found out they were using several for affairs. His chest is tight. He feels sick every time he walks in his room. All the prayers and thoughts you guys have to offer, he will take them. Thank you all. What he worries about most is starting from zero, having to financially recover, and how messed up it is that he will have to pay her every month for not doing anything wrong. But most of all, that losing that income affects how he provides for his girls. But that money instead goes to a lying cheater. Really gets him upset and scared.